Hello, this is Mrs. Harwell, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to incorporate sensory imagery into your personal narrative. Now, you already have your rough draft of your personal narrative, and now we're going in and adding some revisions and some other final kind of finishing touches this week in order to enhance your writing. So today, this is one of the options that you have for your personal narrative, is that you can incorporate sensory imagery. Now, we already know the word imagery. It's to paint pictures in your mind using words. But we're going to talk about sensory imagery. So that is imagery that uses and relies on the five senses. So sight, smell, touch, sound, taste, all of that. And that's supposed to help your reader become more immersed into your story. And really, as a writer, it's helping out your story, out your personal narrative, to give it a more personal touch and also to be a little bit more relatable. Now, in my mentor text or my personal narrative draft, I ended up writing about David the shrimp and an incident that occurred during my first grade class. Now, in first grade, I had that behavior chart, so maybe you had that too, where you had a clothespin with your name on it, and if you were good that day, you were green. If you were bad that day, you were red. If you were somewhere in the middle, you were yellow. So like that behavior chart. I started off my introduction with the colors of the chart. And I talked about how my behavior clothespin was always on green. Now that's sensory imagery. That's in my mind helping me to see the different colors and the clothespin on the chart. So what I would do is, now that I've incorporated that sensory imagery, I'll highlight that pink. So you'll need to have images or instances, of sensory imagery, and that would be the color pink. Okay, so now that's my first instance. You could do something with taste. So if you're talking about tasting something, that could be your sensory imagery. If you heard something, if the smell of coffee was like wafting through your house growing up and that's memorable or meaningful to your story, then that's something that you can incorporate. Now, this sensory imagery isn't just randomly placed into your personal narrative, it's intentional and it's purposeful. That's really the key here, is that you are incorporating purposeful sensory imagery. Now, let me find the other instance. Later on in my story, I talk about how David the shrimp was pulling my hair, and there was a really loud ring in the classroom that got all of our attention. So I said, a loud ring pierced my ears, and we turned our attention to the back of the room. So a loud ring piercing your ears, that can help you and help our reader understand how loud it was. And I didn't just write, there was a sound, the phone rang. No, I said a loud ring pierced my ears. And so that is that sensory imagery that I've incorporated. So not really a comment. I am going to highlight that pink. Okay, so hopefully this video helped you incorporate sensory imagery into your personal narrative. Thanks.